What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Mr. Impel here, and today we got a Valby guide. And what I'm gonna be running up for this, I'm gonna show you guys, the optimal things. So first things first, something that I noticed that was actually helping me go through all this and determining what's good or not is you can always hover over these abilities, and then you see the little green numbers. That is your buffs. So as you can see, my duration about halfway down is originally 15 seconds, but it goes to 17.3 seconds. So this way you'll be able to determine, cooldown rates and durations and damage ticks and damage. So the first thing that we're going to be looking at is technician. Obviously we want skill power modifier so we get more damage. Skill extension is going to increase the skill duration. So for example, this one actually came in very nicely because not only do I have cooldown, so instead of 10 seconds, it drops down to 9 seconds per thing. My duration for the bubbles, instead of 10 seconds, is 11 seconds. So there we go. We have about a 2-second difference right there. That means you're going to have a 100% uptime on this bubble, okay? You'll be able to pop this bubble every single time before it goes away. The reason we're doing that also is because we're using water intake. When you're using skills with staying in water, your mana cost is decreased by 50%. This is going to allow us to pop out more bubbles, abilities, and all that mumbo jumbo. Next, the other thing you want is you're going to want the range of it. See, my AoE ranges it at 1.5 meters, but it goes up to 1.9. And then the effect range of my puddle instead of 3 meters is 3.7. So that is also going to help out with crowd control and taking out enemies. So this one, obviously skill damage, you're going to go skill duration for, the longer time frame that your bubbles are on the ground, or the water, or the AoE puddles. All of those are going to be increased. Even your ultimate is going to be increased by a little bit, which is very nice. So following that, we have the technique manual. I found this is actually pretty insane. Whenever you land a skill attack, it deals 60% of your own HP as additional damage. Now, the reason we're doing bubbles is because that little tick damage on the ground, that's also going to apply this mod here. So whenever you do hit a skill attack, which is basically all the time because you're going to be putting AoE bubbles on the ground that do dot damage, this will also proc a 60% additional of your own HP as damage, which is insane. Because I did that, I'm actually opting for HP concentration, which makes my HP goes up by 20%. So I get, a little bit more value out of this one. But not only that, more so the skill crit rate. I can also hit crits now on the dot damages on the ground. Following that, again, now we got skill crit hit damage and also skill effect range. So we're just going to try and max out that range, because the more range you have, the bigger bubbles are, and it's just way overpowered. Following that, we have the shock punch. This is just pretty basic. You should have some sort of this. It doesn't have to be shock punch. Could be like kicking, could be short sword. All that really does, I'll show you right now. See, my model cast speed is 73. Can't take it off. If I took it off, for example, see, we'll go down to 65. Put it back on, goes down to 70. So the reason you want this one on is to increase it by a bunch of times. So that is why you want module capacity. This one's also really good to level up. It does get costly a little bit on the higher side, but it does increase your capacity overall. So that's very nice. Following that, we have the skill cooldown. Again, we're going to be using most in that for the bubble, as well as the ability to water slide everywhere. Okay. And then this ability is also pretty good, but the cooldown is much more bigger. It does have a lot of damage, but it cooldown is like at 22 seconds. So if you want to cool that down even more, I would say ramp up your nimble fingers, and then you should be able to proc all these more abilities much more often. Again, more HP because we want to tie into this technique manual. Skill expansion, pretty self-explanatory. The range of it, the AoE range. Also, when you're using the water ability here, as you can see in this little video, the range of that water on the ground goes up. So the more range for that, it's more like crowd control and everything. And then just shield, because she is a little bit squishy. And last but not least, defense. Defense is always good to get. If you guys don't have defense, make sure you run some defense if you are getting destroyed. I have not found a skill module yet for her. I am looking, I am farming everywhere, can't find anything. On top of that, because she is water, you know how we have like Fire Master, Toxic Specialist, freaking Electric Master. I cannot find Watermaster. I don't know where it's at. I don't know if it's even droppable. But if you could find that, I would probably recommend that, because instead of Technician, it's going to be a pretty good sizable increase. And you're not going to get a skill modifier, but also skill for electric power. So this one was like about 29%, and it's only costing 8. And then this one's only about 32%, but this one's costing 10. So if you are able to get the water one, you can combine the electric one with the Technician, so you can double up on your damage there. Well, that was that. That's basically the all rundown. Basically, you want to proc your bubble as much as often, and then after that, I use my water glide, and then I'll dive into enemies here. And then once a bunch of enemies popping up, or if I need some more big damage, I use the laundry bomb. This character is very nice. It's very fun to use. You could drop out some of these healths for like extra damage here if you prefer. But there you go, have it. Nice, short, simple, sweet guide build on Valby. I hope you guys enjoy. Peace.